So, living abroad is revealing and unfamiliar and confusing and baffling and fun and adventurous, all of the things. And it has its consequences. And one of the biggest consequences for me was kind of leaving my old life. And it's a lot when you feel like you're picking up your whole life and moving to another country, except you didn't pick up your life. You left it there for the most part. And what is real for me, and I'm sure many others who have picked up their life and moved to a new city or a new state or a new country, is that there's a mourning that happens for your old life. And that's something I realized today after messaging someone. So let's talk about it. I was messaging some friends today on the gram and just, check ins and things like that. I see their stories. I see the things happening that I would have been a part of if I was there. And people like to call that FOMO. I don't like FOMO. Just for me, I don't like that phrase. I have no fear of missing out. There is a discomfort around missing out for sure. I just hate that this sad little plant is in the mix. Poor plant. Um, but I I just, I see it and I don't have a fear of missing out, but I do miss the community because I've said it here before. I can continue to nurture and foster relationships with all the individual people that I can. And yet, and still, I am never in this point, I mean, never at this point, I won't be, or I am not, that's more accurate. I am not part of that community like I was anymore. And if I was still there, I would be. It's almost like looking and saying, these are the things that I would be doing if I was there. And so you're going through this as your old life, but it is really your old life. You didn't pick up everything and just plop it in the new country. There is really a sense of starting over. And like I said, I felt like this when I moved to North Carolina. So it could be domestic, moving to a new state or a new country. It feels like you're starting your life over. And for some people, if they move to another part of the state that they're in, it can be like, or start new school, new people. It's that starting over piece. The routines that you're used to, the routes that you're used to taking, the food that you're used to eating, all of those things are things. My bad. I had to pause real quick because my 3-year old who's supposed to be sleeping came out here, and that was just gonna throw everything off. So I don't exactly remember exactly what I was saying before I paused, but so bear with me because for you it's gonna be like boom, and for me there's been some time in between. But ultimately, I it's you're starting anew, you're starting fresh. The routines, the routes, the people, the just everything that was so familiar to you, you are no longer a part of. And now in a new place, in a new city, in a new state, in a new country, you're having to figure out how to do everyday things, how to pay your rent, how to open a bank account, how where to best place to open the bank account, where your kids are going to go to school if that's a thing, or for us even finding alternative schools, activities, extracurriculars, you know, getting used to a new cuisine or not having the same gastronomy that you're used to, the same food variety that you're used to, the same comfort places that you used to go to, and the same communities that you have taken a lot of time and energy to build and to nurture a relationship with. And I've said this before, that was one of the hard, I cried many a tears and many a time because I was leaving that community. And while I know that I'm still a part of it, I know I can come back and I'm going to just pick up in conversations where I left off. And I'm going to have, it's going to be this like those hugs that feel like real hugs, I know that. I know I'm still a part of it. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's just not. And so allowing yourself to go through a mourning period for your old life, because it feels like a new chapter. It feels like you turn the page in a new chapter in your life, and most everything is different. This does not mean that you can't bring things that are familiar from where you came from. This doesn't mean that you can't keep certain traditions that you have, or maintain certain routines and figure that out. And yet and still, it's a new start. And while that can be exciting and fun, like I said, it's also a sense of loss. I feel a sense of loss. I realize this because as I'm messaging these friends, I see what they do on Instagram, I message, I check in. It feels like talking to somebody from another life, another lifetime, another life that I lived. And I'm like, I just was living this life a little over 3 months ago. And yet it feels like another life. And it's because of that, I I have to remind myself what I'm building here. I have to remind myself to be more present because I'm happy here. And while there's some things that I have to get used to and just logistics of what it really takes for me to open the bank account at the bank that we want to open the bank account in, the logistics of, you know, having a place that has biometrics and robots and like, um, just there's one store that we go to where when you go to the self serve, there's like a bin and you put everything that you bought in that bin and it just shows up. You don't have to scan anything. Like, that's the world we're living in. I was like, okay, technology, I see you. You made it here. You are here. And there's not really like point of sale stuff. So it's like if you want to purchase something, it's not like somebody's going to send you a link and you can put your card information in and all of that and it's going to process. Paying for things out in the world, yeah, but paying for things online, it just doesn't work that way. I have to have this particular thing that I need to open that bank account to have. And so those kind of things, it's not a big deal. It's just something that I would have to get used to. Something that came a lot easier for me in my flow and what I was used to and what I was familiar with in the States. So yeah, I have to get used to those things. And I am making friends here. And I am building new community here, which my dearest friends told me that I would do. I just didn't think it would happen so quickly. I thought it was really going to take time. And you just never know how things are going to pan out when it comes to that. So, um, I have a social life, which I didn't think I would have. I'm more social than I was before because it's so easy to meet up with somebody. I don't have to get in a car. I don't have to find parking. I don't have to drive 38 minutes or 45 minutes or an hour, which in and of itself can be tiring. I can literally walk a few blocks and meet you. And even in New York, like I still would often have to get on the train to do some stuff. So I would say, in that sense, a lot of things are even more walkable without getting in a car or without public transportation here. And I've enjoyed that. Um, and that's a beautiful thing that I'm building here as well. I've said in a previous video that I'm saying yes to new things and new adventures, and I'm open to seeing what comes of my yeses. I'm open to discovering a lot of things about myself and about my creative outlet and what that looks like. So a lot of good things are happening here, and I can lean on that. And I can't speak to if I was feeling more lonely, if I was feeling more isolated, if I was feeling like I did not have any social outlets or I wasn't meeting people that I was vibing with, I can't say that the morning wouldn't be more intense because right now it's kind of this more subtle thing that lives in the underbelly of the shift and the change that we have made and the decision we've made to move abroad. But ultimately it's not something that's overpowering me. It's just something that I think about every now and then, and that I have to recognize and leave space. I have to leave space for the morning and let myself know that it's okay. It doesn't negate the fact that you're building community here, that you miss community there. It doesn't negate the fact that you have ease and you enjoy what you're building and the life that you're building here with your family. It doesn't take away from the fact that, like, you wish you could see some of the families you used to hang out with. You're going camping, you're here in Panama and having this new experience, but you had a core group of people that you camp with on a regular basis. You know how that feels. You know what it looks like. You know how you enjoy it. You know how your kids enjoyed it. And I don't know what it's going to look like here. So all of those things, they don't have to, one doesn't have to negate the other. I can enjoy what I'm building here and try new things and still feel like, man, we would have been doing that. That would have been nice. And it's okay. It's okay. I don't think that we acknowledge enough of the sense of loss that we feel when we make a move to it. Like I said, a new city, new state, new country. And your morning might be more intense or your morning might be a little bit quieter, like mine, but it's still there. You can still acknowledge it. And with time, we'll figure it out and we'll get better. And we take as much intention as we can to still engage with the folks that matter to us. And I know it can take a lot of time or it can take a lot of energy, but it doesn't take much. Sometimes it's a text message, a check-in, a quick call. I'm a queen of voice notes if that's your thing, but all of that. So yeah, this is, I would presume, just a reminder um for us to leave space for feeling sad about one thing and, you know, still feeling happy about another. Both can exist. Human beings are complicated emotional creatures. So both can exist at the same time. And if that's happening for you, or if that's happened for you and you haven't really thought about it in that way, I hope that you begin to. And I hope that that brings you some relief and allows you to kind of woosah and be present where you are and nurture where you've been and acknowledge where you've been and give props for where you've been in that season, because my God, it was amazing. I don't think my children or myself, I wouldn't be where I am or who I am without the influence of the communities and the things that I built in that old life, right? In that chapter before. And turning the page on the new chapter, I'm taking all of that with me. So yeah, that's what I have today. Hopefully that's, hopefully that lands for whomever it's supposed to land with. And if it does land for you and it does resonate with you, let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If conversations like this are your vibe, then please subscribe and come on the journey with me. And yeah, I am here every day. I appreciate you. I appreciate your listening ear and your time. I'm Imani Isha, and I want to see you tomorrow.